Hi, I'm Angelica. You know those moments when your entire life shifts in an instant? Mine happened on a Tuesday morning in October as I was rushing to a meeting about my late father in law's estate. The inheritance was substantial, enough to set my husband Marcus and me up for life, but there had been strange tension since the reading of the will. I was clicking my way across the parking garage in heels that echoed against concrete when a disheveled man stepped directly into my path. My first instinct was to clutch my purse tighter. "Excuse me," I said, trying to move around him. "Mrs. Harrington?" His voice was surprisingly articulate. "I need to speak with you about your husband." I froze. "How do you know my name?" "I'm Lawrence. I worked as a groundskeeper at your father-in-law's estate for 15 years before Marcus fired me last month. Said I wasn't needed anymore." "Marcus didn't mention firing anyone," I replied, eyeing him skeptically. "Why are you approaching me in a parking garage instead of calling?" Lawrence scratched his beard. "Because your phone's been compromised. Marcus checks your messages. Has been for months." "That's ridiculous. Why would he—" "Because he doesn't want you to know about the offshore accounts. Or about Victoria." I felt my stomach drop. Victoria was Marcus's sister, my supposed friend and ally in the family. "What about Victoria?" "They're planning to contest the will together. Cut you out completely." I laughed, but it sounded hollow even to me. "That's absurd. Marcus loves me. We've been married for 8 years." "Mrs. Harrington, I overheard them yesterday, at the coffee shop near the law office. They didn't see me. People like me become invisible when you have money." Lawrence's eyes were steady. "Victoria said, and I quote, 'Once we get the judge to invalidate Dad's final amendment, Angelica gets nothing. She'll never know what hit her.'" "Why should I believe you?" "Because I respected your father-in-law. He was a good man who paid me fairly. What Marcus and Victoria are doing isn't right." My phone buzzed with a text from Marcus. "Where are you? Meeting starts in 20. Everyone's waiting." "I have to go," I said. "They're meeting early to strategize against you," Lawrence warned. "Take this." He handed me a crumpled business card. "It's my friend's number. He's a private investigator. Call him from a phone they don't know about." I slipped the card into my pocket just as another text came through from Victoria. "Hey, sis. Can't wait to see you at the meeting. Don't worry about being late. Marcus and I are handling everything." I looked back at Lawrence. "How do you know all this?" "Because after Marcus fired me, I had nowhere to go. I've been sleeping in my car behind the law office. Last night, I heard them arguing about which documents to hide from you." "Hide what documents?" "The amendment your father-in-law made 2 weeks before he died. The one that specifically protects your portion regardless of what happens with Marcus." That's when my phone rang. It was Marcus. "Angel? Where are you?" "Just parking. Had a little delay. I'll be right up." "Don't rush. Actually, maybe you should skip this one. It's just boring legal stuff. Victoria and I can handle it." I met Lawrence's knowing gaze as Marcus spoke. "No," I replied firmly. "I'll be there. Save me a seat." After hanging up, I turned to Lawrence. "If what you're saying is true—" "It is. And there's more. Much more." The elevator ride to the 14th floor gave me just enough time to decide I wouldn't confront Marcus immediately. I needed evidence. As the doors opened, I saw Victoria waiting in the hallway. "There you are." She air-kissed my cheeks. "We were getting worried." "Were you?" I studied her face, the same face that had cried with me at the funeral. "How long have you been here?" "Oh, just a few minutes." Her smile didn't reach her eyes. "Marcus wanted to go over some paperwork with the attorneys first." "Without me? That's interesting." Victoria's laugh sounded practiced. "Nothing interesting about inheritance tax forms, believe me." Inside the conference room, Marcus stood up immediately, his charm on full display. "Angel, there you are." "Here I am," I echoed, noting how he subtly guided me to a seat far from the stack of documents at the center of the table. The meeting proceeded with Attorney Jenkins outlining distribution timelines. I noticed Marcus and Victoria exchanging glances whenever certain properties were mentioned. "What about the amendment?" I asked suddenly. The room went silent. What amendment? Attorney Jenkins looked confused. The one my father-in-law made 2 weeks before he died. Marcus's hand found mine under the table, squeezing hard enough to hurt. Angel, there was no amendment. You must be confused. Actually, I continued, pulling my hand away, I'd like to see all documents related to the estate. Everything. Victoria laughed nervously. Angelica, that's hundreds of pages of legal jargon. Marcus and I can summarize. No, thank you. I want to see everything myself. I turned to the attorney. Is that possible? After the meeting, I headed straight to the private investigator's office using the card Lawrence had given me. Sam Reeves worked out of a small office above a Vietnamese restaurant. So Lawrence sent you, Sam said, leaning back in his creaky chair. He has good instincts about people. I need to know if what he told me is true. Let's find out. Sam's fingers flew across his keyboard. Your father-in-law was Gerald Harrington, correct? The real estate developer? Yes. Interesting. There was indeed an amendment filed with the county clerk 2 weeks before his death, but it's been flagged for review. Someone contested its authenticity. Marcus and Victoria, I murmured. Most likely. But here's where it gets interesting. Sam turned his monitor toward me. The amendment specifically states that your portion, 30% of the entire estate, is to be held separately from any marital assets. Meaning Marcus can't touch it? Exactly. And there's more. Your father-in-law set up a trust for you specifically. Marcus would have known about this, which explains... My phone rang. It was Victoria. Hey, where did you run off to? Marcus is worried sick. I put her on speaker. I had some errands to run. Well, we should meet for coffee. Just us girls. I feel like we haven't talked properly in ages. Sam was frantically writing on a notepad. Don't meet her alone. Actually, I'm pretty busy today. Rain check? Come on, Angelica, we're family. We should stick together during this difficult time. Like you and Marcus are sticking together to contest the amendment? There was a long pause. I don't know what you're talking about. I think you do, Victoria, and I think we're done pretending. I arranged to meet Marcus at our favorite restaurant that evening, public enough to prevent a scene, private enough for a real conversation. He arrived 15 minutes late, looking harried. Angel, what's going on? You've been acting strange all day. Have I? I sipped my water calmly. How was your meeting with Victoria after I left? He hesitated. Brief, just wrapping up some details? Like how to contest your father's amendment? Marcus's expression shifted microscopically before settling into confusion. What amendment? Angel, who have you been talking to? It's interesting that's your first question. Not what amendment, but who told you? You're twisting my words. Am I? Then explain why you filed a petition claiming your father was unduly influenced when he wrote me into his will separately from you. Marcus leaned forward, voice dropping. Who filled your head with these lies? Was it that homeless guy? Victoria saw him approach you in the parking garage. So you've been watching me? I was concerned for your safety. Like you were concerned enough to check my phone messages? To hide legal documents from me? Marcus's face hardened. You don't understand the complexity of my father's estate? I understand enough to know you and Victoria plan to cut me out completely. That's not... Don't lie to me, Marcus. I have copies of everything. This wasn't entirely true yet, but Sam was working on it. Marcus's demeanor suddenly changed. He reached for my hand. Angel, listen. I made some mistakes. I panicked when I saw the amendment. Dad always told me the business would be mine to run. Then suddenly he's creating separate trusts, splitting everything up. So you decided to take what you thought you deserved? I was trying to protect our future. Our future? Or yours and Victoria's? His eyes flashed with anger. What exactly are you implying? I'm not implying anything. I'm stating facts. You and Victoria conspired to contest the will and eliminate my inheritance. It was Victoria's idea, he blurted. She convinced me you'd take the money and leave eventually. And you believed her? After 8 years of marriage? Angel, please. I'm sorry. I made a terrible mistake. We can fix this. There's no we anymore, Marcus. His voice hardened. You don't want to do this. You have no idea what you're up against. My family has connections you can't imagine. Is that a threat? It's reality. You really think you can fight both of us in court? With what money? I stood up. I think we're done here. Marcus grabbed my wrist. You're not walking away from me. Several diners turned to look. Let go of me, I said calmly. Not until you listen to reason. Sir, a waiter approached. Is there a problem? Mind your own business, Marcus snapped, tightening his grip. He's hurting me, I said clearly. 2 security guards appeared as Marcus continued. You'll regret this, Angel. I'll make sure you get nothing, not a penny of my father's money. As they escorted him out, his parting words carried across the restaurant. You're making a big mistake. Nobody crosses the Harringtons. Detective Reynolds set a cup of coffee in front of me at the police station. The restraining order has been processed, Mrs. Harrington. Given the witness statements from the restaurant and the threatening texts he's sent since, it shouldn't be a problem. Thank you. I rubbed my wrist where bruises were forming. What happens now? We've documented your injuries and the witness statements. The DA will decide whether to press charges for assault. My phone buzzed with texts from Victoria. You're destroying our family over a misunderstanding? Marcus loves you. He made one mistake. Please call me. We can work this out. Lawrence and Sam arrived together, both looking concerned. We secured the documents, Sam announced. The original amendment, the offshore account records, everything. Your father-in-law's attorney had copies. Jenkins? But he acted like he didn't know. Not Jenkins. Your father-in-law had a personal attorney separate from the family firm. Apparently, he suspected something like this might happen. Lawrence nodded. Mr. Harrington was smarter than his children gave him credit for. We also found this, Sam said, sliding a folder across the table. Text messages between Marcus and Victoria discussing how to handle you if you discovered their plan. Detective Reynolds reviewed the messages. These could constitute conspiracy charges depending on the content. Attorney Dawson arrived next, a sharp-eyed woman I'd hired on Sam's recommendation. The good news, she said, settling into business mode, is that the amendment is ironclad. Gerald Harrington specifically anticipated a challenge and had 2 doctors certify his mental competence the day he signed it. What about the offshore accounts? I asked. That's where Marcus made his critical mistake. He moved inheritance assets before probate was complete. That's illegal. 3 days later, Marcus called from his attorney's office, his voice a mixture of anger and pleading. Angel, please, let's talk this through. I made a terrible mistake, but I love you. We can start over. There's no starting over, Marcus. Think about what you're throwing away. 8 years of marriage. 8 years of lies. I'll make it up to you, whatever it takes. The only thing I want is justice. His voice hardened. And money. Don't pretend this isn't about the inheritance. It was always about money for you, not me. I would have shared everything with you willingly. That's what marriage means. Angel, the lawyers will handle everything from here. Goodbye, Marcus. 6 months later, I sat with Lawrence on the patio of his new apartment. He'd used the reward I'd given him to get back on his feet, finding work as a security consultant. The justice system worked for once, he remarked, watching the news report about Marcus and Victoria's plea deal, probation and restitution for the attempted fraud. Only because we had overwhelming evidence, I replied. And because of you. Why did you really help me, Lawrence? He smiled slightly. Your father-in-law helped me when no one else would. Gave me a job when I was at my lowest. Some debts can't be repaid with money. What will you do now? I asked. Keep moving forward. What about you? I looked out at the city skyline. The same, but I'll be more careful about who I trust. Not everyone's like them, you know. I know. Some people step in when you need them most, even if they're blocking your path to a meeting. We both laughed at that. And for the first time in months, I felt the weight lifting. Not gone, but lighter. Bearable. Sometimes the best revenge isn't about getting even, it's about getting free.